Time now for a bigger picture with Dr. Dan from Sioux Falls Hypnosis. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Very good. Good to have you in here. We were chatting a little bit ago about a program I do, the Motivation Minute, and there was one.
It was very motivational.
It was very motivational. There was one from a while ago, a couple weeks back now, talking about how someday is not a day on the calendar, and you just never get around to some things because it's, I'll do that someday.
Right.
And then I was saying in that Motivation Minute that I had this little life hack like 3 years ago, and it worked so well I hadn't done it again since. But I just took my someday list and I put it all on my actual calendar. And then the things that I didn't get to, I just moved them until I got them done, rather than saying, well, someday I'm going to do all of this. And it worked really well. And we were chatting about that because, changing habits and Sioux Falls Hypnosis, you help people find new ways to get things done that they've been wanting to get done.
It's about making a decision and acting on it.
Yeah.
We're skittish about making actual decisions.
Yeah.
Because we always want an out. What if we fail? What if we can't make it happen? What if it doesn't work? What if it bombs?
Yeah.
And so what we want is we want to kind of be in the middle of the road on it, so that if we can't get to it or it doesn't work or it isn't what we wanted or whatever, we can back out of it and we don't have to feel like we failed.
Yeah.
And so what happens is we begin to live our lives never actually making decisions, clear, single-minded decisions. One of the, a change, the definition of change is a decision followed by action.
Yeah.
A decision followed by action. And people think they're making decisions and they talk about it that way. But one of the problems we have as a group is that we, largely speaking, we don't make decisions and act on them. We don't make clear decisions because of our worries about failure, because of our fears of not being good enough, because of all of the emotional stuff that we deal with. And so what we want to do is we want to be able to stand in the middle of the road so the repercussions, because every decision comes with accountability then.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what we're trying to avoid. At a gut level, we do not want to be accountable for an actual decision. So what we want to do is we kind of want to half, we want it just to kind of be in there and we can walk out. Because one of the things that I tell people all the time is thought without action is delusion.
Oh, yeah.
Thought without action is delusion.
Absolutely.
And if you're just talking to yourself in your head, and we talked about this on a previous bigger picture, if you're just talking to yourself in your head, that's as delusional as me going out to my car and deciding I'm the emperor of Wyoming. And what's the difference? I can tell myself anything in my head. It doesn't become real until it's out in the world between you and another person, or between you and a group or an entity or something. It has to become real. And that's what a decision followed by action is I decide what I'm going to do. I accept accountability for it. And then I act on it in the world. And that's when it becomes real. Yeah. And that's, for most of us, the moment that we're shucking and jiving with so that that doesn't ever stick to us or land on us in a way that we have to truly emotionally or in whatever way be accountable for that. Yeah. And this is it's unconscious. It's instinctual. It's something that we do as a group. And what happens is, unless we can make a decision and act, we don't ever actually get to do anything. There's a lot of discussion about free will in the world right now. Oh, yeah. I mean, from the perspective of neuroscience and from the perspective, do we have free will and blah, blah, blah. And my answer to that is I think in most cases we don't. Because the only cases where you're actually free for a moment is when you make a decision and you act on it. Yeah. That is your moment of free will. I don't know if we have kind of big picture free will like all the time, because I think most of us are asleep at the wheel most of the time. Probably. Or we're operating unconsciously, or we're engaging in some kind of going through the motions, engaged in some kind of a strategy that allows us to sort of, anytime we're escaping accountability, we're not actually free. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Free will comes in moments, and it's the moments where you have the courage and the wherewithal to make a decision and then act on it in the world. And in that moment, you're actually free. Yeah. That's what's so amazing about those moments. Yeah. And the problem is that takes a level of maturity.
Yeah. Discipline.
Comfort, discipline. A lot of things that are all wonderful and good qualities that these are the things we generally need to work on. Yeah. Maturity, discipline. Well, just self-acceptance. These are things that we need. But once we have them, we're much more capable of making decisions and taking actions and having those moments where we're actually free. Because, and that's, if you think about it, it's counterintuitive. If I'm really fearful of the repercussions of something, it doesn't feel free.
Yeah.
But the truth of it is only when you make a decision and take action on it are you actually a free person.
I like that. Decision followed by action.
That's what change is.
It reminds me of, you've heard the phrase, ready, aim, fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that there are some people who spend a lot of time on one of those steps. They just keep getting ready. They never aim. They never fire. And I just keep, I'm preparing.
I'll fire when I've got it exactly right.
And then there's people ready, aim. Mm-hmm. They never pull the trigger. They never fire.
Right.
But there's others who just ready, fire. They didn't aim. They just shoot from the hip. So you want to make sure you go through the proper process.
And do you see how all of that is just a way so that you don't have to be accountable?
Yeah.
If I'm ready, and I never aim and fire, well, I'm working really hard at it, John. I'm working really hard and I'm trying to get it right. If I ready, aim, I'm in the same scenario. But also if I just ready, fire, or I just fire, well, then that becomes my rational. Well, I didn't do this or I didn't do that. Right? And it's what we're always trying to do is avoid accountability for what happens after that.
Absolutely.
If we don't know we're right, if we don't know we're going to be right, if we don't know we're going to succeed, we're so fearful of that we will do almost anything to avoid it.
If somebody listening would like some assistance with this, one of the things that I have found to be very helpful is hypnosis. We've got, again, Dr. Dan from Sioux Falls Hypnosis sitting in the studio with us right now. If somebody listening is going, hey, I would like some assistance with that, because maybe they're doing the whole first step but kind of forgetting the second step, or they're not even doing the first step.
It's time to make a decision and act. It's time to be who you are, whatever that is.
What is the best way for them to connect with you?
You can find us on the internet at SiouxFallsHypnosis.com, or you can call us directly at 605-702-6691.
Very nice. And again, this radio program is also saved as a podcast, and you can find that at SiouxFallsPodcast.com.